welcome to Let's Get Growing, and we're in getting towards mid-October, and it's quite mild, unseasonably mild at the moment, and we've had some nice sunny days, so we're going to enjoy it while it lasts. So I'm going to start today with your packs. So this week you have got a Rosemary plant each. So these are plants that we grew from cuttings, and this one, it's gone a little bit discoloured as its leaves, so I think this needs to go into a new pot. Rosemaries are perennials, they're like a small shrub. You can use them in cooking and they stay evergreen, so this will stay evergreen all winter, and it flowers, nice blue flowers in sort of late winter as well, so you'll have that to look forward to. So the first thing I'm going to do is have a look and see if it needs repotting, and you can see how the compost is all held there, and you can see it's got roots here, so yes, it does need repotting, and that's probably why its leaves have gone a little bit discoloured. We want it to be a nice dark green really, so I'm just going to tease the roots out, and I've got a nice big pot because rosemary grows quite quickly and it doesn't like having its roots confined. Put some compost in the bottom. And plant in the middle. And I'm going to put some more compost around it. And it looks happier already. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, I haven't got my secateurs here, but I think what it would benefit from is to be trimmed back. So I would trim these off, and I can show you with my nails where I would go to, but a nice pair of sharp secateurs would be better. So I would be trimming off the ends, and this is to encourage it to bush out and put some new growth on. That will do. So that's the rosemary. Now the next thing you've got is a hollyhock plant. So I've got a picture here. I think its Latin name's Alcia. So these are some like pale yellow ones, so you can get them in all different colours. That one's like a sort of dark red colour. These were taken off, they were like pink flowers with a yellow centre. There's some from the seeds I collected earlier in Let's Get Growing. So they might not come true to seed, which means that the flowers might be a different colour. So these are biannual. So we're going to grow these throughout the winter, and then next year they will flower, hopefully later on in the summer. Nice to have flowers to look ahead to. So the first thing again that I'm going to do, and hollyhocks don't like being confined in pots, so it might be that at some stage you decide to put this into the ground, but I'm not going to put it into the ground just yet. I'm going to grow it on, so it's a nice strong healthy plant. Oh, look at that. So that's slug eggs in there. You see them? There's like small round balls, translucent colours. So I'm going to get rid of them. So just waiting. I'll be munching my new healthy growth. So anyway, the roots, it's not desperate, but because they do grow quite quickly, I am going to put it into the next size up pot. So I'm going to put a bit of compost in the bottom. Not disturbing my plant at all because it's not pot bound. Put it in the middle, and then put my compost around it. Press it down. And put my label back in, and then I give it a drink of water with a fine rose. And then the last thing you should have in your pack is a small packet of sweet pea seeds. So these ones, the seeds that I bought in, and it's old-fashioned mix, old-fashioned scented mix, so they're like a heirloom variety and highly fragrant. So I like these ones the best out of all the sweet peas because they just smell amazing. They're really nice to have next to an area where you sit in the evening. So because sweet peas have got really hard skin coating, the best thing to do before you sow them is to soak them. So you should have about 6 seeds and just soak them for an hour or two just to try and soften up this seed coating. Or another thing you can try is just gently rubbing them on some sandpaper. So what I'm going to do with these sweet peas is I'm going to put 3 seeds in each pot. So I've got kind of deepish pots here because they're roots, they need a bit of room for the roots. You could do them, you could try them in toilet roll tubes if you wanted. So sweet peas are hardy annuals, so we can sow them now and grow them on. I'm going to grow them in the polytunnel. You might want to protect them a little bit over the harshness of winter, and then when it comes to spring they'll romp away and we'll get some flowers. So it's the best time to sow them right now. So I'm going to dip 3 holes, about 1 inch deep, if that really. Get the seeds out, so I've got my 3 seeds there. I'll put 1 seed, a bit tricky when they're wet, in each hole. And then cover them up with a little bit of compost, press them down. Doing the next ones. Tricky. Same again. And put a label in each so I know what they are. Give them a water with a fine rose and the job's a good one. So the next thing we're going to do is just have a look back at some of the things we've grown in the previous couple of packs. So we did, I think it was last time we did broad beans, so that was like 2 weeks ago, and you can see I've got a broad bean appearing. So it's just pushing up, and then you can see the compost is just a little bit rising up there, so I think that one's germinating as well. Look on the bottom, I've got roots in that one as well coming out, so they're definitely doing something, so that's good. The other things, everything else is the parsley is doing nice in its new pot. In fact, its roots are peeping out of the bottom. Let's have a look. This is just 2 weeks ago it was repotted as well. Oh well, that either needs a bigger pot or to go into the ground. It's already in quite a big pot. I'm not going to do that right now because I haven't got a bigger pot to hand. And this is the land cress. I'm going to just see what's happening in here as well. That one's okay, but pretty soon this is going to need to either go into the ground or into a bigger pot too. And what I would do with the land cress is just pick off some of the older leaves, stimulate a bit of new growth, because the old leaves get a bit bitter, so it's nice to keep encouraging new growth, which is coming through here. Right, so there's my cabbage. Let's have a look. Whoa! Everything's romping for it. It's like this warm weather. So I think with this one, again, it's either going into the ground, but I'm going to do a bit of an experiment and grow this in a pot. So I'm going to put it into a bigger pot. I'll just tease it out just a little bit, but not too much, because it doesn't like being disturbed. I don't think I've ever grown a cabbage in a pot before, so we'll do it and see how it fares with the ones outside. That's that done. Again, let's have another look at the Angelica. but that's okay. But its roots are starting to poke through. I'm going to leave this one for the time being. We'll have a look at that one next time. The Jacob's ladder seeds haven't done very much. They are starting to get their true leaves. I'm just going to leave these, be patient and leave these because they're a little bit too small to handle at the moment. My Winter Marvel lettuce that I pricked out last time. So that's doing really well. You can see its roots coming through the base there. So this again is ready for the next stage. So whether you're growing them in pots, so you could put a few in a bigger pot if you wanted, or I think what I'm going to do with these ones is I'm going to plant them later in the week into some space in this raised bed in the polytunnel here. There's some winter greens, and I think that's everything in the Nottingham patch fly. So I pricked these out last time. Some are doing better than others. Probably I wouldn't bother with these ones. These ones look nice, strong plants. I don't think that they're quite ready to do anything with, but I might be wrong. Let's just have an investigation. They'll be okay. The roots are starting to sort of peep through, but I think they'll be okay a little while longer. Some of the compost is a bit loose still on the bottom, which indicates that they haven't filled up their growing space just yet. So the last thing that we're going to do today is go out and have a look. It's raining as well. Is to go out and have a little look at how the strawberries were doing that I propagated last time. Okay, so we're out in the autumnal drizzle now, just to have a look at the strawberries that we tried to propagate 2 weeks ago from the runners. And so I'm just going to look at this plant and I'm give it a little tug, and there's resistance there. That one there hasn't taken yet because it's coming out quite loose, but this one has. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut the runners off. That's it. So it's now separated from its parent plant. You can just have a look. It probably won't have very deep roots. I don't really recommend you do this. I'm just doing this to show you. See, it's sort of the compost is falling out, but you can see how much its roots have grown, and that's just in 2 weeks. Probably should put that up a bit better, really. So I'm going to move this and put it. I'm going to leave that one there, but I'm going to take this one and put it somewhere where I can keep an eye on it and water it. Well, not that it needs it at the moment.